Hello everybody, my name is Noor and welcome to my mini terrarium class. Today I'll be showing you how to make a self-sustaining mini ecosystem. Let's start with the etymology of terrarium. Terra means earth, terrarium means earth in a container. As you can remember, there are other words. For example, aquarium. Aqua, water, aquarium, water in a container. Solarium, solar, sun, sun in a container. Planetarium, observatorium. You can find so many more words. But we're gonna make miniature earth model, which we call it mini terrarium. You will have access to two different sizes. One of them is the smallest size, which is this one. And the large one, it's this one. And there are different content amount, so that's why we need to adjust the content based on the jar size. I will be walking you through how to make the large one today, but also I'll be referring the small one as well. So let's get started with the materials. We have terrarium soil mix, and we have lava rocks, and we have decorative elements, which everybody will have a centerpiece as well. It could be a rock, it could be a wood piece, or it could be a crystal. Depends on what you order. And also we have different styles, but it all works in the same way. And I'll be showing you my beautiful terrariums today as well, a few of them, and then referring them the cycles happening in the terrarium. Let's get started with our jar, and I'll be using this jar today. Let me put this one on the side so we don't get distracted. So this is our lovely mini jar, and every layer has a purpose in the terrarium. The first layer will be our drainage layer, and we will use lava rocks for this one. I will open and add all the lava rocks inside. This works in the same way for all sides of the jars. And the second layer, so this layer is for drainage layer. As I said, it's for water cycle. Water cycle is very important. As you can see on Earth, we have condensation and evaporation. It's a cycle. So we get rain after evaporation. And you can see the raindrops here in this one. This is a closed airtight terrarium. This is a big one, but it's easier to see the cycles inside. So as you can see, all the drops here, these are all rain. And we have the same system here, but very, very small here in this example. I added all my lava rocks inside. And then the second step is our terrarium soil mix. For small sizes, you can add all of the soil because we have just right amount. But for large ones, we have double amount of soil, and you don't need to use all of it. I'll start with half of it. You can start with half, I recommend. And depends on your landscape design, you can start adding more. So if I can edit, let's go. I recommend using a tray so you can clean up easier later. Okay, so I added this much, which roughly a little bit less than half, and I will start designing my landscape. I have a dropper and I have a cup of water, so I will just take about 5-6 drops, and then I will add it inside of my terrarium. 3 and 4 and 5. I'll be adding more water later, but depends on your water soil layer. Depends how much soil you have, then you can adjust your water level. My reference point is how moist is my soil. If it's dry, you can still add more water, but it's always better to underwater than overwatering. because our enemy in the terrarium is mold. And overwatering is the most common cause of mold. I'm a designer, so I like to work clean in my terrarium. So I will get a piece of paper towel and I will use my tweezer, which you can find it in the kit, and I will wrap it around and I will clean it, because the aesthetics are super important in terrariums, as we will keep it closed. If you leave it dirty, it'll stay dirty. I will be cleaning multiple times. Then also it'll help me to press the soil a little bit. Okay, so I cleaned I did the initial cleaning. As you can see, this is a flat surface, kind of flat surface. If I move it a little bit back, you can also use your fingers, you can also use your wooden stick. As you can see, I created a mini hill, and I could even do more. If you have longer fingers, you can just get help. Okay, so I made a very slight hill. You can do even longer, and you don't have to add too much soil, because it'll be less visible if you fill it up to here. And I like to add one more water to help me cleaning. I will just go through the wall, the glass wall, and then I have a little bit more clean surface. I will get a little bit more paper towel, and I will do the second cleaning after I complete my landscape. Then we will be ready for our decorations and our plant, which is moss. Also, it can call mossarium, moss in a container. All right, so I have this one, very minimal landscape design, and you can consider adding your centerpiece in the middle. For example, in this case, I have this wood piece, which is called driftwood. You may receive as a rock or crystal, depends. For example, it doesn't fit to this jar, so I will show you from here. So this is my centerpiece, and then in this jar I added some rocks, smaller rocks that you can have in the decorations ziploc. You can make staircases. Let's use this one. Depends on your design. You can add your moss first and pebbles later, but I want to go with decorations first in this one. And I will not use a centerpiece today. You can use whatever you received in the middle or on the side. I added these mini rocks here as a staircase or stairway to heaven. You can start thinking about the name of your terrarium from now on. Let's get to the moss. So we have moss. You may receive it dry, which is completely fine. Moss can stay alive dry. You can soak into water, or you can spray it. As not everybody has spray, I will just dip it in the water. You can dip it in the water for dehydration, so it'll thrive. You can also cut it. That's the most helpful part, because they don't have roots. You don't kill them. you can divide them into smaller pieces and you can adjust your landscape better. I'll dip another time. Then I will add it here. And a little bit more piece. You can also clean if there's any dirt on it. I will dip it again. And I will put it inside of my ecosystem. A tip here, please don't put too much decorations on top of the moss because you can block the light and then it can get yellow. So I added my moss and my staircase, and I will also add my house here. And now we are completed our design. And you can also clean it another time. And also you can add a little bit more water, depends on how moist your soil looks like. I want to add one more. Let's get to it. Then we can now seal it. And how to take care of it is very important as well. I normally never water my terrariums. I have this terrarium for about 4 months. It's been closed and I never watered this. And let me see. So this one has been closed for a while now. I didn't water it as well. But first 2 weeks, you can change the water level. Why? Because we don't know if they're gonna do good inside. I usually observe for 2 weeks and then see if they need more water, and then I add water. If they don't need, that's okay, but if you overwater it, you can leave it open for 2 days, then you can close it back, or even 1 day, depends on how much water you add. Then you can have a beautiful self-sustaining mini terrarium at home. Another tip, if you have a plant cutting, you can add it inside. For example, I had this plant cutting. I added inside and it's outgrowing right now, which is beautiful to me. And I have another one here. I just made this one. And I have another plant cutting here. It'll grow as well. You can add a plant cutting, which will be lovely. And you can keep it somewhere taken indirect sunlight, not to burn the moss. Thank you so much for joining me. Please consider us leaving a review. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Love Earth. Thank you.